Previously on the Woke Real Estate podcast with the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Monroe.
The SMS channel for the buyers is how you sell these deals. And then you contact these people through a lot of mediums. Now, here's a gem. I'm almost scared to tell y'all this shit. A lot of people are, everybody's talking email campaigns. Let me tell you, the SMS channel for the buyers is how you sell these deals. People are in their phones. So we are blasting thousands of messages when we get a deal to buyers, to agents, anybody that we feel will help us go about getting this deal sold. And we're selling a damn near 100% of our deals right now through the SMS channel. The email right now, don't get me wrong, email can definitely still get deals sold, but right now, man, I'm in love with SMS.
Yeah, the best and the easiest, man. The best and the easiest way to go.
So I know I've heard people also say things like, talk to your buyer and ask them how they want to be contacted. They might want text, they might want email, they might want a phone call. Do you look at processes similar to that as well, or you just do it the way you like to do it?
We look at ourselves as the big dog. Like, the person holding the opportunity is the big dog. So we may ask, but at the end of the day, it's like it's enough people answering text to just do whatever channel we want to do. And text works, so that's what we do. Now, if you have that buyer that's like, hey, I don't use text, I use email, it's just kind of like, that's probably not the buyer we want to work with, to be honest with you.
It's a marketing channel. It's a marketing channel. So just how you want to use the marketing channel on the front side of the business with the sellers that allows you to get the most reach, right? That's the most powerful. It's the same mindset on the back end of the business, right? If your email campaign is fire, it's not going to spam, your response rate is high, that's what you're selling the deals with. Well, look, invest in that, master that, right? But you need to do not build your business around buyers. Don't do that. Or a buyer. Do not build your business around a buyer. Build an efficient business. And you got to figure out what that looks like for you. And for us, man, SMS, that's what it is.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say, yeah, I got this buyer and he want this and he want that. And I'm like, what? I mean, there's buyers everywhere want all kind of stuff, but it don't work like that.
We had to learn that the hard way, Chris, because we had buyers. I mean, these buyers were smart, man. They've been doing this game for a while, and even the way they used to talk to us was like, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that if you don't do this. And now I'm like, all right, well, hey, sounds like we can't work with you. And we have buyers that I tell all the time, hey, listen, the way you do business doesn't fit the way we do business, so unfortunately we're not gonna be able to work with you. I'll go ahead and remove you from the list. And they will call up and apologize and try to get them back on our buyers list because they realize we have deals and we do good business. Like, nobody is calling people back, nobody is walking people through the process, nobody is being responsive as you are. So if you do those things, buyers will work with you, but you just have to know what your process is. And when it comes to buyers, we don't flex on our earnest money, okay? And I'm gonna tell this for everybody: if your purchase price is under $100,000, you should be doing $3,000 earnest money due within 48 hours. If your purchase price is over $100,000, you should be doing $5,000 earnest money due within 48 hours. And not only that, you communicate to your buyers, hey, listen, yes, you do have 48 hours to submit this earnest money. However, we will still continue to market this property until your earnest money is deposited and we receive a receipt. So we advise that you get this over to us as soon as possible. Now, you can't say that if you was not answering the phone call when they was calling. You can't demand that if you don't give them access to the property when they need it. You can't demand those things if you're not holding up to a certain professional standard. But if you're doing those things and the buyer is giving you too much pushback, I'm done, because it's 4 ways I qualify a buyer. First off, it's responsiveness. Do you answer the phone when I call? Then it's decisiveness. So how many times do you need to go out to the property? 1, then you're gonna make a decision? Great. It's cooperativeness, meaning can you do business the way I do business? Because you're closing maybe 5 to 10 deals a year. We're closing 10 deals a month, right? So I know that my closing attorney is going to do what they need to do. And then the last thing is and I had to write this out, is credibility. How many deals have you done? How often are you typically purchasing deals? Hey, what areas do you like? So if they don't qualify from those four tiers or those four pillars of qualification, it's just like, I'm not even going back and forth with you about this deal. I'm going to find somebody who's really trying to make some money.
Find more leads than you can even process. That's multiple listing service. That's the MLS for you real estate agents. Absentee owner information. Find the cash buyers and flippers in any market nationwide. Pull a pre-foreclosure list. And don't forget, you got to find those comps. Get nationwide access with multiple filters. Powered by PropStream at wokesource.com. Get your 7-day free trial today. wokesource.com. That's wokesource.com.
Get your free real estate joint venture agreement and get notified of upcoming shows. Text JV to 636-330-1444.
Today's broadcast is being brought to you by WokeSkipTracing.com. Look up phone numbers and email addresses with ease, with pricing as low as only 15 cents per match. Not per search, per match. If there's no number or email address, you don't pay. Get accurate data in just minutes. WokeSkipTracing.com. That's WokeSkipTracing.com. You may have heard the saying, the fortunes are in the follow-up. Now there's a brand new system that is great to help you cold call, text message, drop voicemails, and so much more, all automated. You don't have to remember anything. Just set it and forget it. All you have to do is speak to people. Check it out, wokereply.com. It's a multi-touch marketing campaign where you can schedule to send text, voicemail, email, and even live calls all on autopilot. Check it out today, wokereply.com. That's wokereply.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, women and children of all ages, it's about that time. It's Monday Night Raw, real estate style. What's going on, everybody? We are now tuned in live on multiple streams right now, streaming on Twitch, the gamer site, streaming on YouTube, streaming on Facebook, and we are actually on Instagram temporarily. If you are on Instagram, you want to get the full experience, hop on over to the YouTube channel at ChrisMonroeSTL. And the same for the people listening over on Clubhouse. You know, we got to be in the club. So that's the place everybody's being for right now. So go ahead and put your name in and put where you're coming in from, and I will give you a shout out before we get started with the show. We got a great show for you tonight, as well as a couple other ones coming up for you as well. Next week, we're on with Miss Roxana Wilson, talking about how to buy a block of houses free and clear. She did it. She's going to tell you how she did it. It's an actual case study. That's Monday the 25th. Make sure you're tuned in for that. That's going to be a great one. The following week, we got February 1st, Sawan Belcher out of North Carolina doing those creative deals. You know, I love that creative space. We're definitely going to talk to him. And we got a couple of others lined up as well. But as far as tonight, you know, we on with Miss Neko. She's in the green room. She's about to come out swinging and bucking and swinging. So be prepared for that. Let's see who we got up in here. Let's see. We got Periscope. What's up? The Buccaneers over here. I see you. I stay woke. I see you, bro. All right, who we got in here? Trying to get a coach. Oh, all right, well, you in the right place. We got coaches all around me. Let's see here. What's up, Joanna? How you doing? Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. So if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. Give it a like. Give it a share. It's about that time, y'all. We about to get it popping.
And we have. And we have. And we have Mr. I Stay Woke, and Mr. I Stay
Woke. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? This is the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Monroe, and I'm right back at you with another real estate video. You know why I'm out here doing this business? I come across a lot of heavy hitters. So, we have to bring them on to share their experiences and share that knowledge so we can up our game as well. So without further ado, Neko, how are you?
I'm good. I have to say, this is pretty impressive. The whole setup, the commercials, the outro, the last group of people, man. The shit, can I cuss?
I just got to change it on my YouTube now to say it's cussing in it. So cuss away now.
I keep it PG. Yes, it's pretty dope. You got to show me how you do this.
Oh, yeah. I got all the bells and whistles. You know that. So for people who may not know, tell them who you are and what you do.
Hey everybody, my name is Neko Cheri and I am the tax lien queen. I have been doing real estate for over 20 years, but I specialize now in tax liens for a specific reason, and we may get into that later. But basically what a tax lien is it's an opportunity for investors to buy property at a very low dollar amount or much lower than the value of the actual property directly from the county.
Wow. So yeah, that's definitely something. So all of these people that have back taxes or real estate taxes, they ended up being taken by the county, and that's what we're buying. Is that what we're talking about here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what I tell people is this. They always say, well, you never own because you always got to pay the government. No, you will own the property. You can own the property outright, but you're going to rent the land. Okay, you're going to rent the land and you have to pay taxes on that. And because you have to pay taxes on everything, including your food, taxes are due on the land. So when you don't pay the taxes on the land, whatever property is attached to that land will be confiscated.
Wow. So for people who don't pay their taxes, an investor or some third party comes along, buys it up for pennies on the dollar and make money off of it, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay, so great. So I know we have tax liens in some places, and other states may have tax deeds or other instruments. When it comes to that, I mean, what is a good idea to think of before you say, I want to go invest in this state or that state? Which one is better, basically?
Depends on what you want, right? So there are some investors who want tax deed states because the process typically moves a lot faster. Whereas the tax lien states is usually a longer time that the property has to be held in what's called the redemption period. So the redemption period is a period of time that the previous owner or the current owner has to pay the back taxes plus the penalties associated with those taxes. So they get a time span to do that. And if they don't complete that, then you can secure the property. But if they do, you do at least get your money back plus interest. So there's a long game and a short game. The short game is typically the deed states. The long game, again, is the lien states. But the interest rates is what some investors go after. Some investors just want a higher return than what's typical in the market. What's typical in the market is 10%. So an investor may say, okay, well, in certain states, I can get up to 30%. Like Texas, you can get outstanding amounts of return if you're lucky enough to get in there. But you can get up to 30% or more on some of your money. So if you have $100,000, that's a $30,000 guaranteed return on your investment, or you get the actual property, which if you do your due diligence could be worth substantially more than what you invested.
Now you used a big word right there. You said guaranteed. So I mean, how do you lose playing this game?
You don't. Okay. You typically don't if you do things the right way. Where I see people lose is not doing their due diligence. Even my clients, like I can't tell you how many times I'll tell them, auctions get exciting, especially if you attend a live auction. It can be, it's like being in a casino, right? And you're bidding against someone, and maybe your budget for that property was $2,000, but now they're at $3,000. You like, now I ain't about to lose, right? Next thing you know, you done bid $5,000, and your kid's not gonna have lunch money for the next couple of months. So you have to be careful, and you have to make sure that when you're going into this situation that you are very, very, very cautious and that you stick to your dollar amounts and what you plan on spending, because like I said, it can get really exciting and you can end up in a real bad place if you're not careful. The other way that a lot of people get into trouble is not having the right attorney involved in the process, or thinking that they can bypass the attorney because someone on YouTube told them all you got to do is follow these steps. And all you got to do is do that and do this. And next thing you know, they lose the property because the process is not as simple as they think, which is why a lot of people do hire attorneys. Another way that I've seen people lose, these are all really buyer's errors. Another way that I see people lose is not doing any due diligence at all. Do a Google search on a property, because the way that tax liens are set up is that a plot of land that could be 12 by 12, 1 foot each way, right? 12 by 12 mailbox and a 2,000 square foot home could have the same address. So if you Google that address, it's going to look like you're bidding on that 2,000 square foot home, when in actuality, you're more than likely going to be bidding on that mailbox. And if you think that the bid went up to $500 and no one bid against you for a 2,000 square foot home, more than likely you didn't do your due diligence, and you're going to have to pay that money to the auctioneer, or you will be banned from the auction if you don't, pay up when the time is due. But again,
so you're saying if you don't, you have to see these properties, or is it better to do it like you're saying with Google?
You can do it. I mean, I have clients that live in the UK, so there's different due diligence processes. I actually have a company that wants to work with me with software that does a lot of the due diligence for you, because it can be kind of tasking, but it's so beneficial. It's so beneficial. I got my first tax lien, which is an apartment complex in Gary, Indiana, because that's my area. And I got it for $500, and it's 6 units, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. The property is condemned. It's in terrible condition. I don't give a good goddamn. That property, I'm gonna put $250,000 in it, and when it's all said and done, it's gonna be worth well over $400,000. And now there's a biotech company that's just moving right down the street from my apartment complex, and they're building luxury condos right down the street. So wow. I might luck up and end up with $1 million property when it's all said and done that I spent $500 on to secure.
That's crazy. So you're saying you bought a whole apartment building for $500, mm-hmm. and you're gonna end up making money on it no matter what you do.
No matter what I do. I can leave it the way it is right now with no goddamn roof on it, and I'll get $25,000 cash.
Really?
No, for real.
So have people been hitting you up trying to buy it and stuff? Like people skip trace and be like, "Hey, yeah, are you the owner? Can I buy it?"
Absolutely. I have multiple properties. Most of my clients, I would say 98% of my clients got their tax liens for $500. That's the minimum bid at the Indiana auction, at one of the auctions, well, 2 of the auctions in particular. And they're all contacting me like, "Oh my God, Neko, I love you." People have been contacting me, offering me $30,000, $35,000. The property's in terrible condition. They went out and looked. They want it as is. I got the good faith deposit. Like they're getting offers left and right, because the area. One thing that attracted me to Gary in particular is the fact that it was an area that was prime for gentrification.
And so I know that you say Indiana. I hear a lot of people talk about Indiana. That must be one of the best states to do this type of stuff in.
It is.
And so is that because of the high interest rate, or is that because you can get the deed quicker or something? Or what is the real reason for being there?
Absolutely, because you can get it faster. Indiana is like one of those specialty states, kind of like Texas and Arizona. But in Indiana, the redemption period is 6 months. And that's really not the case for most places. It's, a year or 2 years, Atlanta, it's a year and a day. So for a very short redemption period, for you to be able to secure a property or get a return on your investment, that's ideal for a lot of investors. So Indiana, it's a really good place to start, and a lot of people like to invest there. Also, it's not it wasn't highly competitive.
Until they seen you doing, they say, I'm on it now.
Man, why everybody wouldn't be like me? Yeah. So, once I hit the area, it just kind of blew up. You got Amazon there, UPS there. You have the Hard Rock Cafe Casino, the biotech company coming there, and a lot of other corporations. I flew there a few months ago, and I was in the planning and development department, and they had a stack at least this big of single sheets of new development that was coming to the area. That was astonishing. And I was like, okay, is this, new business? They were like, yes. Like, they were so excited. They couldn't believe the amount of influx of money and development that's coming into, the city and the state. It's astonishing. And lucky for us, we're not catching in on the tail end. We've actually been there. So a lot of my clients, one of my clients has over $2 million worth of assets that they got off for under $500 each. Large commercial properties that no one was even considering a year ago.
So it's basically about the market. So everybody thinks it's worth nothing. It's trash property. Nobody wants it. The owner gives up on it for whatever reason. They feel like it's not worth anything. Some investor swoops in, pays $500 or so, takes it, waits the 6 months, and then how do we go about getting it switched to make it our property from there?
Yeah, that's the part where the attorney steps in. I don't do that part. Again, some people do. But I've seen way too many people lose out. I've seen people lose $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 trying to do it themselves, because once you pay for it, you can't get any money back. If you make an error, you don't send one letter out, you miss one deadline, it can make everything that you've done null and void. So I have my attorney. I've been working with the same attorney for years. I trust him. He's good. He handles his business. At the end of that redemption, he's already filing the proper paperwork to the courts in order to transfer deed to me or my clients. So, months later, I'm signing off on the deed and that property is mine.
So you don't even have to wait around, play around. You got a good team in place. So what would it cost for an attorney? About $2,000 or more than that? Or what would it cost for that attorney to do the rest of that transaction?
It's less than $1,000 for the attorney. What I have suggested as of late for my clients, though, is this other key information is that they need to also get a quiet title. So they clear the title for you to acquire the property, but a quiet title prevents any previous owners from making any type of legalities against you when you are further down the line. So now my property has moved into the quiet title stage for a couple of different reasons. One, to avoid litigation. Two, because if you want to sell the property to someone who wants to acquire any type of financing through the bank or a hard money lender, they're gonna want a quiet title. And if you don't already have that done and you have a buyer waiting, your buyer is not gonna wait 2-3 months for you to get your for you to get yourself together, okay? Blooper.
No problem. So basically, that we already know when we buy these, just go ahead and start the process. Don't play around. Get the paperwork filed and go through the process.
Go through the process so you can go ahead and that's what helped me up on my rehab. I didn't think the process all the way through. I wasn't going to start on my rehab until this spring, and it ended up happening that way anyway. So maybe that's what it is. But I was like, no, I'm going to start now. And I started doing the cleanup. I was excited. I told my lender, yeah, let's go. And he was like, Neko, you don't have your quiet title. I'm like, yeah, we'll get that. And they're like, nah. You ain't getting it till March. And I was like, what?
So you got to wait the redemption period. Oh, okay. So I see what you're doing. And it looks like within the redemption period, you already started the process. So it all ends at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the smart way to do it. So that's how I'm teaching my students now to do it so that they're prepared. If they don't think that's, the understanding is know what you want to do from the beginning, right? So going into this process, what do you think that you're going to want to do with this property? Is this a property you're going to want to hold and keep in your family for a long period of time? Then maybe the quiet title may not be as necessary. If this is a property you absolutely know that you're going to want to rehab, this is a property you absolutely know that you're going to need financing because you're not going to want to rehab with cash out of pocket, then you definitely want to take into consideration getting that process done. It does cost an additional $1,000 for that process. So to answer your question as to paying the attorney, it's $1,000 if you don't want to go that route. It will be about $2,000 if you want to go the secondary route or more.
So I mean, even if you come out of pocket almost $3,000, I mean, would it really hurt? How many houses could you buy at $3,000?
Bingo.
Exactly. So are you focusing more on commercial properties or residential, or does it really not matter?
I'm in the middle. I haven't really gotten into commercial space. A lot of my clients do prefer commercial because of the high valuations and the opportunities that come up that you've never even considered. Like one of my clients, a cell phone company wanted to rent her roof, literally rent the roof for a 5G a satellite to put on her roof and pay her $15,000 a month for that. That's astonishing. Who would ever think of that?
And they're doing like long leases with those, from what I hear, like
Yes.
65-year leases or something like that.
Yes. So they can pay you $15,000 a month for years. For years. Like who would ever, they can't do it in residential. It has to be commercial. So having commercial property has all kinds of benefits. In addition to that, you can qualify for different types of subsidies and grants and things like that by having commercial space. So they're, negotiating with grocery stores, bringing in grocery stores, shopping centers, your Food Flush, your Safeway, your Kroger, your Publix. There's tons of opportunity in the commercial space. For me, I'm going to have to ease into it because I've been residential for so long. That's just what I'm comfortable with. But a lot of my clients are moving in various different directions, even in farming and warehousing.
Wow. So, I mean, the sky isn't even the limit. So for people that are joining in right now, we got about 70 people watching on here, about 15 on Instagram, and we got some people watching on Clubhouse. Give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share, let people know we're on with Neko, dropping bombs, letting you know about these tax liens and how you can get in the game for, it sounds like to me, less than $3,000. I mean, that's kind of cheap, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like you can't lose. So take me back a second. So you said if we were able to get one of these tax liens and somebody didn't redeem it, we would get an interest rate. So how would that work? Have you ever had somebody pay you back from when you bought or something like that? Or
yeah, damn it, I was so pissed off. Let me tell you something. I had 5 acres of land right smack dab in the middle of a beautiful, beautiful residential space. And I was going to grow so much weed out there, man. I was excited, right? And the back taxes on the property was like $22,000. I'm like, oh, they're not gonna pay that. Man, they paid it. I was so hurt. I was so upset. I did not want my money back. I did not want that funky interest. I wanted to grow some weed. And I was so hurt. I was so frustrated. I was like, I was gonna be the cannabis queen around this piece. But wow. Yeah, it was such a prime deal, and it sat there. It sat there for so many years. But again, there's so much interest that's being garnered in that area that deals like that are becoming less and less frequent. But there's still some outstanding, deals. Because here's the other thing. You know what's crazy? Here's the other thing. People will go to the auction, spend their money, get these properties, and then turn around and not pay the damn taxes on them damn self.
Wow.
So these same amazing properties get recycled and put right back on the tax roll. Right back on the tax roll. And it's crazy. But again, that creates opportunities for people like me and my buyers, because my buyers serious. They be out here thugging, man. They not playing, okay? They are not playing. They are serious investors. They want to build wealth for them, for their families. They have a lot of young moms, and they're like, man, I'm buying my son a house just like you bought your son a house. I'm buying my daughter a house just like you, but like they not playing. Like they're really serious, and I'm glad to see a lot of people of color, especially moving into these different markets, whether that be with their wholesaling business, that fix and flips, or real estate acquisition just in general. But tax liens is a really overlooked process that's really simplified and has a low barrier of entry. And what I mean by that is a lot of real estate transactions will require that you have 10, 20, $30,000. Whereas, in deals like this, you can find phenomenal deals, like you said, for under $3,000. And that includes your attorney's fees. So when you start looking at 5 and 10, spending 5 or 10 grand, you're still in a prime position to acquire real estate. I mean, that's amazing.
That's crazy. You can get in the game just by having the proper knowledge. So you can get these properties, fix them up, flip them, fix them up, live in them, fix them up, do whatever exit strategy you want. But getting it is the secret to the sauce. And so, so you said the tax deed states are the best place. Is that right? Or tax liens? Did we figure that out? Which one's better usually?
It depends on what you want. Like I said, for long term, for me, the liens have worked better. For some people, the deeds work. It depends. Like I think of people who want, there's people who don't want to wait, right? They don't want the long term investment. They want the short game, because there's a long game, there's a short game. So if you want the short game, you want it now, you want to get it, then go with the deeds. And some states they have deeds and liens in the state. Georgia's one of them. Georgia's a state that has deeds and liens, like Fulton County, the main county, where Atlanta. Fulton is, a redemption period, like I said, a year and a day. But then there's other counties like Henry County where it's deeds. So you can get it right away. I think within 30 days.
Wow. So that's good. So if you get the deed that quick, or go through the other process, wait 6 months, go through that quiet title suit, wait that out, you can get the property either way. Or, they redeem it and you'd be sad.
One thing about deeds though, I believe that it's a more expensive process too, right? Because people are going to be way more aggressive because they're actually going for the property. They're not going for the interest. So when people are going for the interest, they're willing to wait it out. That's a different buyer than your buyer who I want this property. Like they might want to live in that house. So if they're looking at a property, it's a $500,000 property, they might come with $250,000 cash.
Right. That makes sense. So
that's a big boy game, if you ask me, in certain areas.
Right. So is it possible to wholesale one of these, put it, buy it, and then say I'm gonna sell it to somebody else, or how does that work? Or do you have to wait the whole term?
You would have to wait if the person is buying with, like I said, any type of financing. But otherwise, if you acquire the deed, you can sell it cash right off the gate. Like you don't have to wait. The quiet title is really for anyone who wants to do any type of financing, going through an institution, bank, hard money lender, things like that.
Because they're not playing around with these bad titles. They want
insurance. You're gonna need a quiet title to insure the property. Like there's so many different layers to it.
So it's easier just get you a good attorney and let them deal with all that.
Man, get your attorney. Don't pay that money. Stop trying to watch 2,000, 3,000 YouTube videos while everybody's skipping over information and you miss something in your notes and end up losing all your money. That's exactly crazy.
Let's see. We got Ernesto over here on YouTube wants to know, where do you find these properties?
County. You go to whatever county that you're interested in buying. They usually will have a list. They will not teach you the process though. Let's understand that. They don't want to deal with you. They want seasoned investors coming in there. You might find somebody nice every now and then, but they see you, and not literally you, but yous every day. So they're not going to sit there and walk you through the process and educate you on it. They're going to expect for you to come in, know the language, know the lingo, know what you want, know what you're there for, and get it done. I do offer, multiple courses that are online, that are, easy to follow, understand, breaks it down, teaches you about the due diligence process, which in my estimation is the most challenging part of the process, and then gives you links to how you can connect in each state in the 50 states depending on where you are, and locate your county. So, it's going to take a little bit of work, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the long run, especially if you have enough, capital in order for you to play around a little bit.
And speaking of capital, do they let you have to pay a cashier's check, or can you swipe a credit card, or what kind of payments do they usually take?
Nah, they don't want no chargebacks. Y'all know y'all do chargebacks. Ain't nobody playing around with you.
I just got approved for this card. I was going to use it. I'm going to say, wait a minute. Yes. Okay. So cashier's check, or I guess certified funds is the real answer, huh?
Absolutely.
All right. Sean Wilson over here on Facebook wants to know, what kind of attorney is needed?
Tax lien attorney. You want to be very specific, because there are a lot of different types of attorneys out there, but you really need someone who specializes in that area, because it's some silly attorneys, y'all. I have had clients lose by having the wrong type of attorney. I don't make an attorney recommendation per se, but I do, for my specific area, I work with one attorney, and I introduce him to my clients. Okay. I don't recommend him. I just introduce him, and I tell them about the success rate that I have had with him, which has been 100%. There hasn't been one incident with this particular attorney. And some of my clients will say, okay, that's fine, but I'm going to pick this other person. And I swear to goodness, there hasn't been one time that there wasn't some type of error, problem, something wrong with their transaction. And I'm always stuck trying to help them figure out where this nutcase went wrong with their situation, where I've had tremendous success with the attorney that I select. So you have to vet your attorney very, very well. Make sure that they have a track record. Look and see if anyone's filed any complaints against them, and make sure that you're getting a person who's on their top of their stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you never know. So basically, a little typo can mess up the whole thing.
Man, the wrong name, the wrong address. I had an attorney, they were sending all of my important documentation to the wrong address. I had a notice that my taxes were delinquent on one of my properties, and it went to a whole another address. By the time I got it, I only had 1 day to pay it. And then come to find out, the taxes weren't delinquent, that he forgot to file the paperwork that says that I had paid him already. So it's just, that was the attorney that I fired that I no longer work with. And so now I work with one where I don't have those types of problems.
Wow, that makes sense. So they say, what's the best way to find a good attorney then?
Again, do your due diligence. Referrals always work. Again, in my particular situation, I tell my clients about my attorney. He teaches classes in our private group, so that they can get a feel for him themselves. Listen to how they talk. Are they able to articulate things and explain things? Are they patient with you, right? Again, look and see if they have any complaints filed against them. Ask for recommendations when you go to the county. Ask them what attorneys they use, what attorneys are working there, what attorneys frequent their office. They'll be able to tell you things like that and make a recommendation for you.
Yeah, because you get the wrong one, you'll be up a creek without a paddle. I don't want to be that way. So I guess that's the most important thing. So for what I'm getting so far, due diligence, very important. Attorney, very important.
Very important.
Mission is simple.
And knowing what you want out of the deal, right? Understanding what your exit strategy is. What am I in this for? Am I in this for short-term gains? Am I in this for long-term gains? Am I wealth building? Am I here to create a portfolio? Do I want to retire in 10 years and have at least 10 assets where I can have, residual income coming in for rents every single month? What is your goal? What are you doing it for? Not because it's the hottest trend, it's the latest trend. Do it because there's a real outcome for you and your family. Think it all the way through. Get your family involved. You guys make an actual plan for wealth building around these tax liens and really build something substantial for yourselves.
That's what it's going to take. You have to build it up. If you build it, they will come. So I know you told us a little bit about some of the bad things that have happened. Give us something on some good things that have happened that you've seen in the business since you've been dabbling in it.
Shoot, like I said, my clients getting contracts for, cell phone companies to pay them $15,000 a month in rent, for my clients to acquire property for $500 and the value of them be 30,000, 40,000, 100,000, 200,000 and more. My clients being able to buy property for $500 that needs minimal repairs on the property. They're going to be able to get rents for $1,600 a month. My apartment complex, $250,000 investment for a rehab with a $400,000+ valuation, plus rents coming in every month to pay the mortgage and money in my pocket to pay another mortgage. Like, it's an outstanding opportunity. Outstanding opportunity. What better investment could you do than that, if you ask me? If I were younger, 47.
Oh, you like 27. Don't be silly.
Yeah. If I were younger and I were getting started in real estate, I absolutely wouldn't have purchased my first home like a regular, real estate deal. I wouldn't have done that. I would have purchased a tax lien first. I would have made that my first investment had I known about tax liens. Because I just think it's a smarter way to get into the game. It's as risk free as you're going to possibly get. It's as risk free as you're going to possibly get. The money is guaranteed to be there. The asset, it's like you almost can't lose. Almost.
You have to really try hard to screw it up.
Man.
And people find a way to do it though, right? Every time.
Yeah, they do.
So most states are minimum $500. Do you have to pay the county extra money or something too, or is it just like this is the number you bid, pay that, or is it like some kind of filing extra junk they throw on top of it?
It varies. There's over 3,000 counties in the United States, so it varies county to county. Some counties, they have a live auction. They require for you to put a deposit down. Some counties have online auctions, require zero money down. Typically, the money that you do put down goes towards your bid. If your bid is unsuccessful, you get the money back. Like I said, it's like, it's almost like playing for free. You either gonna win or you're not gonna win, but it's very difficult to lose.
It's very difficult. You could buy a patch of dirt with there's no value, and then you caught, right?
Yeah, and that's 100% on you for not doing due diligence.
All right. We have the question of the day. Anita wants to know over here on YouTube, how does someone become your client?
You can go to NekoCheri.com. I have a course. If you want to invest in Indiana, I have a course specifically for Indiana. It's called Invest Gary. We have a Facebook group. We have some veterans in there. We have some newbies in there. And you get the online course in addition to a membership. So you're in the group with other people who are doing the same things that you're doing. It's pretty exciting. I really like it. It's become more like a family type environment. Everyone's super supportive, super engaged. Even like when we had the last auction, people were bidding against each other, but they had to have some type of, autonomy, because you couldn't let everyone know, who you were in the bidding process. But they were like, one of y'all beat me. I know it was one of y'all, and it was just very friendly. It was friendly fire, So we do have the program Invest Gary. I've been doing it for years. I have tons and tons of success stories, and so many people. A lot of people have these investment funds, and they are investing, and that's fantastic. But what I like about my program is it's all for you. The investment that you acquire is not mine. I have no control over it. I don't have to print out any annual reports to tell you anything. It's yours. I'm helping you acquire something for yourself. So that's one thing that I not that I'm against the funds. They're fantastic for what they are good for. But this is not about Neko. This is 100% about you and your family. I'm more like the guide than the captain of the ship. Okay. I'm more like the tour guide. I take you and show you the way, and you take it from there, because I've had tons of clients who've had more success than I have in this space. And I love it. I love it. I want to see you win.
That's the name of the game. When your clients are doing better than you, you're doing something great out here. I'll be like, dang, that's how I am.
I'm like, damn it, how you find that deal?
Why you ain't tell me about it? I would have took it
Right.
down. Cool. So let's see here. Somebody already went on your website, Janelle. She wasn't playing. She says, I see you have 2 courses for sale. Which one would you recommend for a complete newbie?
So again, if you want to invest in Gary, then Invest Gary program is going to work best. That's a very specific program for that area. If you just want a more broad understanding and introduction to invest anywhere, then my 50 state tax lien course would be the best one for you, babe.
So there you go, Janelle. She went on the site quick. I said, "Damn, she didn't play. She didn't even blink yet. Damn." All right. Sean has another question. Say, how do you find out ahead of time before the auction? Seems like some people have insider knowledge.
They don't. They're just very diligent or experienced. Like even right now, we're waiting for Lake County and Gary, Indiana, for them to announce when the auction is going to be held and whether it's going to be online or in person. In person sounds ridiculous right now, but we still have to wait for them to say it. Right.
You want it in person because that'll scare most of the people off, and you can go get all the business.
Look, I'll
Got
be in
2
there with a
masks
mask
on.
on. I'm not playing. You know what I mean? You open them doors, I'm coming through that joint for real. So yeah, the best way again, babe, is for you to reach out to the county, and the county will keep you updated. Some places they'll have their tax sale the first Tuesday of the month. Some of them have annual sales. Some of them have quarterly sales. Some of them have sales 3 times a year. So if you contact the county that you're interested in, they will typically tell you that they're not, they won't withhold information for you. They're just not going to walk you through the process. But they will at least let you know how to access the list of the properties as well as when the auction is being held.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I went to an auction for the first time. Well, not an auction, but one of these tax sale auctions here in St. Louis. And a lot of those properties did not sell. I mean, they had some that everybody was fighting over, but then there was some like no bid, move on, no bid, move on. I mean, what do they call those no bid ones?
Yeah, there's tons of properties. Like people are always wondering if it's ever going to run out. It's just never going to run out. Again, every month someone is delinquent in their taxes. I mean, look what we're going through right now with the pandemic. I mean, I'm expecting for that list to be outrageous because if people can't pay their rent, they're damn sure not paying their taxes. So it's gonna be a frenzy.
So stack your money up, huh?
Get stacked. You better stack.
And go in there ready to take everything down.
Man, get you a line of credit and go dumb.
I know that's right. Let's see here. They say the post third sales. Oh, they telling me about St. Louis. Look at that. These people know everything. They be Googling and looking up stuff. So the trustee site. So what do they do with those ones that don't sell? I mean, is it just like they put them back up next year, or I mean, I guess every state has something different.
Yeah, they do have it's some differences. So a few things can happen. One, it'll go on to another sale. For Indiana, if the properties that are on the March sale don't sell, they go to May. If they don't get sold in May, then they wait to the following year. So you have 2 opportunities. Some places, the ones that don't sell, they have a book or a listing that you can go to the county office and get, or have them mail it to you, and you can do what's called over-the-counter purchase. Or there's some that again, once it's gone, then it doesn't come back until the next auction time.
So with that over the sale, or I guess any sale that's outside of that auction, have you ever seen somebody negotiate and get it lower than what they owed on taxes?
No. The only time I've seen that happen, again, Indiana is a very unique place. So Indiana does the minimum bid is $500. So if the property owes $20,000 worth of taxes and that minimum bid is $500, you get it for $500. That's what happened when I had the 5 acres. The taxes were $22,000. I got it for, I think, $2,500. Someone was bidding against me. We went up to $2,500, and I'm like, I don't give a damn. I'll go up to $5,000. Like I was ready, but I think we stopped around $2,500 or something like that, or $3,000. I can't remember exactly, but it was redeemed. I was pissed, and they redeemed it like the last day of redemption.
I know
So
that's right.
I was talking big, like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you know, I'm about to sell some weed.
Kind of those chickens before they hatched.
Man, I was counting them. I was counting them. Yeah.
What was the website again? Oh, I'm gonna put it in the chat form. What is it?
NekoCheri.com. It's a link tree page to all of the all three of products that I offer right now.
See if I can do that and not mess up something. Boom, there it is. It's on the screen. So that's the site to go to check out the training, because we definitely want to get some people trained up. I don't like people coming into the game and don't know what they're doing. I say get you a coach,
And
get you a course.
it's so inexpensive just to get the knowledge and take it. It takes you step by step directly there, you know, so it makes it easier on you.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because I know so many people who lost so much money. So much money.
And you can't get it back. It's gone.
Can't get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Nick wants to know on YouTube, how do you find out how long you have to wait before you can act on a property?
I'm guessing he's speaking on the redemption. So they have each county has its own redemption period, and you'll be made aware of that when you go into the process. Whatever the auction rules are, they usually display those and they let you know. They don't keep it a secret from you or anything like that. So they're very transparent about how long it's going to take. But again, make sure that you have an attorney who can work all of that out for you and walk you through step by step when you get to that point. My programs, again, they give you the general information. They get you started. They tell you what the expectation should be. They tell you who you should be talking to, how, when, why, and where. And once you get to that point, then you go and you find your professional to work with directly who can take you even further in the process to make sure that you don't lose anything.
That makes sense. We don't want to be taking no losses. So
Yeah.
I guess so going back to the due diligence part, so you could buy a property. Is this what do you really want to look for before you say, yeah, I want that one? Or are you looking for properties that's vacant, or you say they got tenants in it, so I really don't want to mess with that one? What is something to kind of stay away from?
Honestly, it just depends again. So I'll give you a perfect scenario. It ended bad, but it could have ended good. So there was a gentleman, he reached out to me. He was very upset because he had purchased a property, a beautiful home, in a tax sale, and the owners of the property still lived in the property. So he was like, get out. So he decided to evict them, and upon evicting them, they burned the house down.
Ooh.
Bad scenario. However, I personally think he mismanaged it. What I would have done was said, oh, you know, enjoy. You know, that was your house long before it was mine. I'd have been sweet talk. Excuse me, I would have been sweet talking my butt off, right? Got insurance on the property.
For sure.
Insured the property. And in that way, if they burn it down after I'm insured, they give me my cash. I'm rebuilding.
So they done burned it down. He didn't have insurance?
He didn't have anything because he rushed the process. For me, I wouldn't have cared who was in there. You know, my process for how I deal with how I process the property after is going to make sure that I'm taken care of. So if I have tenants in there and they're willing to pay, they can stay. If I have tenants in there and it seems like there's going to be an issue, I'm going to get all that paperwork done before I even engage with them at all.
Right.
I'm not going to start an eviction process until all my paperwork and everything is lined up.
So basically, he had the googly eyes, and he was like, I want this house, and I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, and he just went there on some, this is my property, with his chest out. You know, like, sir, remember, this is a very sensitive situation. You don't know how long these people have lived in this house. You know, just move with caution, move like a professional, you know, or even have, you know, just make sure your paperwork is in order before you start making demands. So, you know, in Indiana, their eviction laws are very friendly, so you can get somebody out in 30 days.
Because it's possible he could have just worked with them and they might have left on their own, or he could have gave them cash for keys to leave or anything. Bingo. But he didn't even try none of that stuff.
Bingo.
He
tried the bully approach, and he ended up losing all the way around.
That's craziness. I wouldn't do that. I mean, you know, that come back to, like you say, professionalism. Can't just throw
Professionalism.
stuff out there and just hope it works out.
Yes.
Let's see here. Deidre wants to know on Facebook, can you give us an overview of what the course contains and share the price of the course?
So there's 2 courses for the Indiana course. Again, it comes with a membership step by step with how the auction works. And because the auction information is not all there just yet, you get constant updates, you get group updates, you get additional information, you get additional training working with us in the program. With the 50 states, it's more the due diligence process, how to bid, when to bid, where to bid. And then there's an outline attached to that course that tells you exactly where you need to go for each state's auctions.
So it gives you a full breakdown overview, bird's eye view.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Martin wants to know, would you get paid monthly or yearly on those interest rates?
You get paid annually.
So
there's some creative ones, but I won't get into that because it's way too detailish.
Yeah.
But annually, you get paid at the end of the redemption period. I'm sorry, not the end of the redemption period. You get paid whenever the owner during the redemption period pays back. So if they pay back on month 1 or 2, there's some situations where if they go past, 6 months, the interest rate goes higher. So instead of them paying you 10%, maybe they'll have to pay you 15%, or instead of them paying 25%, maybe they'll have to pay 50%. So there's occasionally a variable like that, but it's always in your favor. It never goes less. It always increases.
It always goes in your favor. So again, you almost can't lose unless you just don't get the proper training.
Yes.
Let's see here. Rez on YouTube wants to know, is there a mortgage you will have to pay off if you win the bid?
Nope, everything is wiped out. That's the lovely part about it. Like when you have the $500 tax lien. So what happens? Let me just go into it just a little bit.
Okay.
So what happens during the redemption period is your attorney contacts anyone who has any type of equity in the property. So if that's a bank, if that's a lien holder, if that's the owner, whoever has any type of interest in that property is notified. Even if it's a mortgage company. And banks really, they're just not in the business of securing tax lien properties. So it's really unlikely for them to step in at that time. They'd rather just let it go. On occasion, it would really have to be a really, really high value property for them to come in. And even I've seen $1 million properties just go. So, if the bank decides to not engage in that situation, then nothing is owed. And if the bank does want that property, they have to pay for it just like everybody else. So they would have to pay the back taxes, which is whatever money you bid on the property, they will have to pay you plus interest if they want that property. But you won't owe them anything. They either take the property, pay all the taxes on it, or get out the way.
Okay, cool. And so when you do go through that quiet title suit, have you ever seen anybody come back and say, oh no, I'm making a claim, and make a fight about it? Or usually they just let you have it?
I have heard of them doing that, and I have heard from my attorney, and I have heard of them being denied because they had time to address it and they didn't address it timely enough. And once that quiet title hits, it's nothing that they can do. They're shut out.
Game over, huh?
Game over.
I know that's right. Nick wants to know, are there any risk that you can't do a walkthrough on because you can't do a walkthrough on a lot of these properties?
Oh, absolutely. There's risk. And no, you cannot do a walkthrough. They consider that trespassing. Great question, Nick. That's part of knowing your area. And that's just, what I tell some people is think about the worst case scenario. Think about the worst case scenario and think about what that investment may look like. And start there. Don't start, oh my goodness, they're going to mop the floors and scrub the counters down. No, think of them taking all the toilets. Think about what the worst case scenario is and start there. Because typically, even the worst case scenario will still be a win for you.
Right, with the proper training. That's right.
Yes. Keep in mind, my property doesn't even have a roof, but it's still going to be worth over $400,000.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, especially at
With
the
rent
$500.
coming in every month, honey. I'm good. You can take all the toilets out.
You can replace all of that. Ain't no
You
problem.
can replace all of that. You
I know
know.
that's right. So Nick is asking, does the attorney find people that have liens during the redemption period? I don't know.
I so yes, the attorney's job is to make sure that everything is cleared on the property.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a title company that does that work.
Mm-hmm.
So the title company searches for the liens, any liens against the property, any mortgages against the property. The title company does that work for them. So your attorney will hire the title company, and they work together to make sure that you, as the investor, walks away clean.
So long as you have a good team on your team, a good team
on
around
your
you,
team. Yes, yes, indeed.
you good to go. All right. Stacy on YouTube wants to know, do you provide a list of attorneys for each state as part of your program?
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm gonna say that's more expensive than that. I don't know what you're charging for the program, but I know that's a list I want.
That would be tremendous, because again, there are over 3,000 counties, and I would have to have worked with each one of those attorneys for me personally to recommend. I don't even recommend the one that I work with. I just tell people about them. I'm not making any legal recommendations like that. The best way, again, is for you to contact the county that you are specifically interested in and ask them what attorneys with an S that they use, and then do your own due diligence to see which one works best for you as an investor, for your personality type, for the way you like to receive information, and how they work in their process.
I know that's right. Everybody got their own rules. So
Everybody got their own thing.
So Indiana's a pretty friendly state. What are some other kind of friendly states for this type of process?
Florida. I have a lot of people who invest in Florida. A lot of people invest in Louisiana, Arizona, Texas, and there was one more I can't think of right now. But those are the best.
Those sound like some good ones right there. Because
yeah, Florida. I'm thinking about sliding over there next, because so many of my clients have had what a lot of my clients do is, once they learn the process with me, is they just start jumping around and like, Neko, I'm here. Neko, I'm there. Oh, Neko, I took your process and I applied it over here, and they get all excited, and they just take off. They just take off, because once you learn the process, it's really just finding the same people to kind of repeat it. There's going to be different variations on the time, the values, but the due diligence process is pretty much going to be the same everywhere. You're going to need an attorney. Typically, some places, they're not judicial, but I just think that having a legal team whenever you're entering in any type of transactions, especially dealing with property, it's just the best route to take, honestly.
Victor asks, California?
You got California money? Look, I'm from Cali. You got California money?
You better bring a good wallet out there.
Trust you me, you gotta have some California money. Like, people, they think about tax liens and they think about discounts. Yes, it's not probably going to be $1.5 million for you to get that property. But if you're talking California, San Jose, the Silicon Valley, San Francisco, even Oakland, just know that that's going to be a highly competitive market, and you really better have real deep pockets to be able to compete in some of these areas.
Don't even go out there without at least $1 million in your pocket.
Man, you got to have some deep pockets, because you're not bidding against regular everyday working folks. Typically you're bidding against people who have investment capital, and this is what they do. So be ready.
So they the real professionals. We playing around in these little Midwest states and stuff.
Man, they got it.
Bring your good wallet out.
So
for people that are watching, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. We're on with Neko. If you're listening over here on Clubhouse. That's where we're at. We're on the YouTube channel at ChrisMonroeSTL. If you want the full experience, we'll be wrapping it up here shortly. So just want to let people know who are listening in, or if you're listening on the podcast too, audio. So let's see here. We had a couple more questions. Deetra wants to know, she says, with deeds, how is it that we can get them? Tax deeds are because of unpaid taxes, but what is it about the deeds? I just want to understand.
I'm confused.
So she want to know let's see, with deeds, how is it that we can get them? Tax deeds are because of unpaid taxes, but what is it about the deeds? I just want to understand. I guess they're trying to figure out tax deeds versus liens.
Okay, so hopefully I'm answering her question with this. So what happens with the tax deed? Again, a person doesn't pay their taxes. Certain states and counties will allow people a redemption period, right? And then some states and counties will allow people an opportunity to pay. So in deed states, they don't have what's called the redemption period, meaning that they take it from you and then allow you the opportunity to pay it. In deed states, they usually just let you know you're delinquent over and over again, and that if you don't pay by a period of time, they're going to take the property, right? So with the lien states, they give you a period of time. The property can, be purchased at the auction, and then you can go back and redeem it. But with the deed, once it's final, it's final. Once they take it, it's over. There is no time for you to get it back. There is no opportunity typically. So hopefully that's answering her question. They're all delinquent taxes. It just depends on whether they have a different type of process, whether it's going to be a lien with the redemption period for you to get it back, or a deed. Once it's final, it's final.
Wow. So with the deed, would you have to still go through that same process with acquired title and none of that? Or it's just, I got the deed, I'm done, I don't got to fight?
Kind of. When you get the deed, you do have to still go through the title process, but you don't have to wait the long period of time typically. Again, there are some states where there is a wait for the deed. So I don't want to confuse people and think that all states operate exactly the same. It's a lot of different variables. A lot. There's over 3,000, like I said, 3,000 counties, and some of them, is 30 days. Some of them it's a couple of months. Some of them is right away. It just varies. It just varies.
So get your training in at NekoCheri.com. Is that basically the summary of it?
Yes.
Because somebody gonna watch this video and say, I learned everything I need to know. I'm going to do it today.
Yeah. I know they are. But at the very least, get you a good attorney, please.
They said, thank you for explaining everything and where we can understand.
Thank you. I was hoping it wasn't too confusing, because it's so many different variables when it comes to the deeds and the different states and the different counties. I know it can be a little bit confusing, you guys, but the best way to do it, honestly, is not to be all over the place. Like, I'm not all over the place. I pick my state, I pick my area, I specialize in that area, and I don't go here, there, and everywhere. I try to be very centralized, very specific, because I want to make sure that I'm getting the most out of that particular area, and I don't need to be everywhere. If I'm getting everything I need in one place, I'm not everywhere. Like, I don't do deeds everywhere, but I know about deeds in a lot of different places. But to avoid confusion, to avoid my money being all over the place, I stick to one area where I can grow and build my portfolio in an area that I feel is going to give me the best return. And I think that that's where your focus should be, not on how quickly you can get it, not how it moves. And, just make sure that whatever your exit strategy is, that the outcome of that is most beneficial to you.
Yeah, and that sounds like that could be something people could run into too. So say we spend $5,000 on a tax lien, but I needed that money for something else. Your money locked up. Is there a way to get out of that, or you just locked in until you figure it out?
You are locked in. I got $25,000 locked up right now, and I keep thinking, did I really need to get that house?
The only better place.
Did I really need to lock that money up?
The only place that would have been better would have been Bitcoin, right?
You know what? It's funny that you say that because when Bitcoin was $5,000, one of my friends who was a Bitcoin he was like, Neko, put the money in. I'm like, I'm gonna get this house.
Dang, you had a chance.
25 grand right now, man. I've been sitting on something nice.
Dang, that's how we going. So cool. Let me see here. So I think we got some other questions, but I'm not going to hold it up too late tonight. So tell people again exactly how to connect with you if they want to know more about your programs, they want to find you on social media, all that good stuff.
Yes, you guys, I am at Neko Cheri everywhere: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Clubhouse, and Instagram. You can go to NekoCheri.com where you can see my programs. Again, Invest Gary is specifically for that particular area. That is my signature program. The 50-state tax liens is going to walk you newbies through the whole process to introduce liens and deeds to you. So if you want to get introduced to the process, that's a great way to start. Again, I'm at Neko Cheri everywhere.
So you made it easy like mine. ChrisMonroeSTL everywhere, even if I leave STL.
Everywhere.
Say, dang, they be like, I couldn't find you. People be telling me that. I'll be like, how you can't find me? You lying now. I'm easy to find. I'm everywhere. I'm all over these internets. So cool. So what kind of goals do you have going forward as far as the business here? Are you going to keep buying tax liens? Or are you doing some other stuff this year? What you got as far as the future?
Oh, that's really exciting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to really hone down on my skill set in the tax lien area and become the tax lien authority. I'm going to create a university around it. I'm going to create an application for it. I have a company right now reaching out to me with some amazing technology to help my clients with the due diligence process. So I'm just really going to double down on my knowledge base. I've done tremendously well for myself, for my family in this space, and I have helped a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, acquire property that never thought that it was possible. And I think that I don't see a lot of people like me in this space. And so I think, again, I should just double down on what I'm already doing and expand my brand and really help people acquire more property as we move through this time.
I know that's right. That's what we got to do. Get better. That's right. Get gooder. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Anything else you want to share with the family before we wrap this thing up?
No, you guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for trusting me, listening to me. If you're new to my page or anything, Neko been around for a long time. I'm not a newbie to this. I've been investing in real estate since I was in my 20s. I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of knowledge. And tax liens, I think, is one of the most proficient ways for you to invest, whether you're new to this or you true to this.
I know that's right. Cool. So that works. I want to say thank you for coming on, taking your time this Monday night. People are going to watch it on a replay. Make sure y'all replay viewers, go ahead and leave your smart comments. Even if you come in late, say, I came in late, but I learned something great. I like it. So other than that, that's going to do it. Thank you, Neko.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. It's been great.
All right. Cool. You can stand by one moment. All right, so that's how we do it, family, right here. Each and every Monday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. We bring the heavy hitters on to get you the knowledge to help you move and groove in these real estate streets and entrepreneurship. Because, it's a lot of things you can do in real estate. And that's just another one right there for you. The tax lien queen dropping bombs on you. Don't forget, next Monday night, we'll be on with Miss Roxana Wilson out of North Carolina, telling you how she bought a block of houses, a whole block. And it's a case study. We're going to lift up the hood and show you all the ins and outs on how she was able to structure that. I didn't do it. She did it. I like to learn from others. And then we got the following week, we're on with Sawan Belcher. He's loving that creative space, the world I live in, creative, where you can buy houses for no money down. People say you can't buy no house with no money down. Yes, you can. You see those infomercials coming on at night. It's just kind of sleazy how they pitch it sometimes, but it is real. I'm a real witness, just to let you know. So hopefully this video provided you some type of value. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. Let's see here. You say, this was dope. That's right. Tell your friends about it. This was so great. Thank you. No problem. This was great. Thank you both. That's what I'm talking about. No problem, Vanessa. Thank you, and everybody else. So I hope it all helped you out in some type of way. So, but all that being said, do what you do, be who you be, and I'll see you before you see me. Peace.
And we have and we have Mr. I stay woke, and Mr. I stay.
Find more leads than you can even process. That's multiple listing service. That's the MLS for you real estate agents. Absentee owner information. Find the cash buyers and flippers in any market nationwide. Pull a pre-foreclosure list. And don't forget, you gotta find those comps. Get nationwide access with multiple filters. Powered by PropStream at wokesource.com. Get your 7-day free trial today. wokesource.com. That's wokesource.com.
Get your free real estate joint venture agreement and get notified of upcoming shows. Text JV to 636-330-1444.
Today's broadcast is being brought to you by WokeSkipTracing.com. Look up phone numbers and email addresses with ease, with pricing as low as only 15 cents per match. Not per search, per match. If there's no number or email address, you don't pay. Get accurate data in just minutes. WokeSkipTracing.com. That's WokeSkipTracing.com. You may have heard the saying, the fortunes are in the follow-up. Now there's a brand new system that is great to help you cold call, text message, drop voicemails, and so much more, all automated. You don't have to remember anything. Just set it and forget it. All you have to do is speak to people. Check it out, wokereply.com. It's a multi-touch marketing campaign where you can schedule to send text, voicemail, email, and even live calls all on autopilot. Check it out today, wokereply.com. That's wokereply.com.